We found a house and we were not able to find the owner. And it's been sitting vacant for quite some time. How do you go about finding a contact person?
That's a very good question. So this is one of those areas where, to be super honest, I don't dig into it too much because it's so time consuming and there are easier ways to find properties. But for those of you that want to dig in, John referenced some of this earlier about using city officials. So sometimes the postal people know, or the city government people. And on the county records, I've noticed that dealing with different counties is sometimes easy and sometimes extremely frustrating, based on how fast they are. Sometimes you get counties whose information is 6 months backlogged. If a property sold or if a property's recently become vacant, you might not find out for months and months, literally. But you can always go and check. So our county records, for example, they have an owner name and then a mailing address. Well, that isn't necessarily the property address. Sometimes it's a different address. So I like to check that, because if it's an out-of-state owner especially, sometimes they've inherited it, or it's a situation like that. A spouse died, they have 2 properties now, they want to sell one off because they're just living in the one. And so you look and see if it's a local or an out-of-state address, or even just a different address than the property address. And then you can send mail there. If it's recent, they have a forwarding address on file. Sometimes that reaches them. Sometimes they stop back by the house for mail. So if they have an old school mailbox, you can literally stick a piece of mail in their mailbox. You can tape stuff to their door. Yeah, it's not perfect. You know, sometimes the wind comes through and it blows your paper away, or they come and get the mail and they throw it away. And maybe the first month you put something in their mailbox, they don't need you. But if you do it every week or every month, sometimes they say, you know what, I'm tired of trying to sell it on my own, or I'm tired of paying the taxes. And the city just fined me because the grass is overgrown and I'm tired. And so if your marketing is in the right place at the right time, but I like doors, mailboxes, neighbors, going and knocking doors and saying, do you know who owns this house? Finding them at home is the hard part. Like, if you can find the neighbors at home and you don't look scary like some kind of serial killer, usually they'll talk to you. So that's good. I try to look kind of unintimidating and with a little smile. Don't discount what a smile can do, because you're walking up, you're a stranger. So just have a gentle smile, not like a I'm coming at you smile, but just something soft. Really, it makes a difference how you smile at the neighbors. So have a subtle smile on your face as you walk up to them while they're out mowing their lawn. Sometimes the kids are outside playing and you can ask nicely, not stalkerish, could you go get your mom or dad for me? And wait away from the door, like seriously wait away from where the kids are playing so the parents don't get nervous when they walk out. And neighbors are a huge resource. And sometimes if you find the neighborhood... what's a nice word for a gossiper? If you find the neighborhood gossip, they tend to know where the people went, and then you better be prepared to listen for about 10 or 15 minutes about how they lost the house if it's a foreclosure, and how awful the family was, or, oh, you'll never believe what happened. Oh, it was terrible. And they go into the whole story. So sometimes you get a chatty neighbor, and that's always helpful. Other ways to find vacant homes. So the county, sometimes, here's one thing that I did in Indiana. The guy that was in charge of the city code enforcement, he was going around and he'd have to put the notes on. He knew a lot of stuff. So the houses that weren't being taken care of, like the yards are looking trashy and the city has to find them. City, not county, I apologize. So the city code enforcement guy. A lot of times they know, because that's their job. They drive around and they keep track of their little section. And if you can get them in the office, sometimes you have to leave them a message because they're out driving neighborhoods. But if you can either leave a message at their office or stop in, if it's a small enough place where you can get kind of friendly with the city workers and tell them what you're trying to do. I've been in cities small enough. That tends to be the key, is that it's not too big of a city where people are very leery of you. But in the smaller cities more than the bigger, you can go in and you can make friends with all the county and city people. Tell them what you're up to, you're investing, what you're looking for. And if there's something in it for them, even better. You can't bribe them. They're city officials or county officials. But, you know, you can do something nice for them.